Tomboy, written by Suzana Thompson, narrated by Sarah Sampino. Chapter 11. I missed Jake. It was a subtle, gradual realization over the next few weeks. He never returned to our house after he spent the night in my room. When Connor hung out with him now, it was always at Jake's house or elsewhere. Jake no longer came to watch my soccer games like he had in the past. He spoke to me at school, but only to say hi. I had taken his presence for granted for so long that I wasn't prepared for how much being cut out of his life would affect me. I didn't tell anyone what he had said to me that night when he was drunk. Not even Kyle. Jake had said that it wasn't true, and there was no reason to dwell on it. Kyle and I had other things to deal with. The rest of our friends seemed to always be busy whenever we wanted to hang out. I decided to confront them about it, starting with Adam. He was surprised when I took the school bus home with him. I stuck to small talk until we got off the bus. "How are you going to get home?" Adam asked. "You know I don't have a car." I knew that his parents didn't get home from work until about 6, so we could talk openly at his house. "I can call Connor to pick me up. Or maybe Kyle," I added. Adam looked away from me as we walked into his yard. He seemed reluctant to invite me in, but he did anyway. "So, what do you want to do?" We hadn't ever hung out together without the rest of our friends, and he seemed kind of nervous around me, although he never had been before. "I want to talk, or are you too busy?" I had dropped the friendly tone of voice I'd used on the bus. "Just don't punch me, okay?" He actually stepped back away from me. "Why would I do that, Adam? I still consider you my friend. Or am I wrong about that?" I wondered if this was going to be a replay of what happened with Chad. "Of course we're still friends, Cam. You're not the problem," he said. My anger dissolved into disappointment. "What is the problem then, Adam?" I already knew, but I wanted to make him say it. "Let me ask you something, Cam. How long have you known about Kyle being gay?" At least he was looking straight at me now, instead of avoiding the situation. "A couple of years? Obviously, I didn't drop him as a friend when I found out. I don't know how he told you, but he just sprang it on us with no warning. Give me some time to get used to it," he said. "You're not going to get used to it by avoiding him. He's still the same person, Adam. Nothing has to change. Just give him a chance," I pleaded. "I don't know what to say to him," he admitted. "You don't have to say anything. We'll just hang out like always. Okay?" "Okay, Cam. But I don't know if it can be like it was before. Have you talked to the other guys yet?" Adam asked. "Not yet, but I'm actually going over to talk to Jason now. I texted him during last period, and he said he'd be home. Jason lived a couple blocks over from Adam, so I could walk there." "Oh." His tone of voice immediately alerted me that something was wrong. "What? Did he say something awful about Kyle?" Jason had always been so cool about everything that I couldn't imagine him reacting in the way Chad did. Yet I hadn't expected Chad to behave that way either. "No, we haven't really talked about Kyle at all. I guess we just wanted to pretend it never happened," Adam explained. "Did you know that Jason was at Kayla's party?" The abrupt change of subject puzzled me, but I answered him. "No, I didn't see him." "He saw you." There was something odd about the way he said that. "Oh? Why didn't he say hi?" "Maybe because he was too busy drooling over you." He watched my reaction and smiled thinly. "Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. All he could talk about was how hot you looked. You should know that he's been trying to work up the nerve to ask you out." "Oh, no. Why was this happening to me?" "Are you still going to go talk to him?" Adam asked. "Yes. Our friendship is too important to just give up on it. I don't know why everything is so complicated, though." "Yeah," he agreed. "Things were much easier when we were kids." "Those were the days," I sighed. He smiled, and I could see the Adam I had always known. "Listen to us, talking about the good old days." I smiled back. "We must be getting old. Ancient." Then he grew serious again. "Come back here and wait for your ride if things get too weird with Jason." "Thanks, Adam." I left his house feeling hopeful. He was open to trying to keep our friendships intact. My optimism even carried over to the situation with Jason. I was dressed in my usual clothes, and I felt confident that he would forget about the party once he saw me. Surely one evening wouldn't override all the years we had been buddies. He dispelled that hope pretty quickly, however. I had launched into talking to him about Kyle, but he interrupted me. I'm sorry, Cam, but there's something I need to say to you before I freeze up. I like you and I want to know if you'll go out with me. Why was my life such a mess? Since when do you like me, Jason? Since you saw how hot I looked? I was angrier at the situation than I was at him. Adam and his big mouth. He muttered. Yeah, Cam, I couldn't help noticing your looks. I know there's more to you than your body, though. We have a lot in common. I never thought about you as more than a friend before, and maybe you've never thought about me that way either, but I think we could have something special. We had been friends for a long time, and I didn't want to suspect him of ulterior motives, but I had to bring it up. A lot of guys have been asking me out lately, Jason. If you think... He looked offended as he jumped in to deny it before I even said it. I saw you were at the party with Dylan, and I've heard the rumors about you, but I know you're not that kind of girl. You're my friend first. How could you think that I would try to use you? You had a date at the dance, I reminded him. Yeah, I date, Cam, but I don't have a girlfriend. Not yet, anyway. Will you please think about it? About going out with me, I mean. He was right about us having a lot in common. Besides our love of skateboarding, we also had the same taste in music and movies. We got along great, and Jason was attractive. He was just as blonde as Kyle, but he had brown eyes. I was noticing his looks for the first time since my late-blooming hormones had kicked in. Still, I wished that we could just go back to our effortless friendship. I promised to think about it if you'll hang out with Kyle and me the way you used to before the dance. I wasn't just making a false promise to bribe him. I was really going to consider everything he said. He knew me well enough to take me at my word. I didn't go around breaking promises. Okay, Cam, you've got a deal. Do you want me to talk to Kevin and Taylor for you? Yeah, I said gratefully. That would be great. Okay, I'll let you know, and we'll get together if they're cool with it. Before I even knew what was happening, Jason leaned in and lightly brushed his lips against mine. You let me know too, Cam. I will, I promised. Then I decided to take Adam up on his offer. I told Connor to pick me up at Adam's house. I lied. I better get going. I made my escape and called Connor when I turned the corner and was no longer visible from Jason's house. I had made progress with my goal to help ease the rift between Kyle and the rest of my friends, but now I had a new problem to solve.